Do you feel like school missed your talents? That the very thing inside of you that you truly cared about was never explored? Or perhaps you did explore it and were told to shut it down, to stop. I have made a career within music, within entertainment. But I remember being in a music class and all around me were keyboards. And the class sat down and everyone put their headphones on and we were asked to follow a simple pattern by numbers which were written on the keys. And we were asked to play along with something. I can't even remember what the song was, but I decided I'm going to do my own thing. I was getting a little bit bored, a little bit fidgety, probably the ADHD kicking in, the undiagnosed ADHD at the time. And I was there doing my own thing, creating music, which is what I later went on to do. The music teacher, she was feisty. She was, you didn't want to get on the wrong side of her. Well, I did that day. She came up to me, took my headphones off, switched off the keyboard, and told me in no uncertain terms that music was not for me. My career could have ended right there. I could have stopped pursuing anything creative because of that teacher. Maybe you can share an experience that is a little bit similar, something you cared passionately about that was never truly nurtured within education. If I asked another question, do you feel like you were understood when you were in school? Did someone take the time to actually get to know you, to understand what you cared about? And if they did they help you to harness that passion, that creative energy? And if they did see it, did they help you? Did they encourage you? Did they find a way of tailoring what you loved to the curriculum itself? My son, he adores ghost trains. That's his thing. Not just going on them, but how they work, how they're set up, the whole kind of engineering kind of aspect of it. He just loves it. Well, that ghost train concept, you've got engineering right there. You've got sciences. You have the English in terms of writing stories and looking at writing designs. You've got the expressive arts in terms of the creation of it. You've got mathematics and numeracy by working out how much things cost. And if you had a theme park, how many people would you need to kind of make a profit? I think we do projects in school sometimes that are over an extended period of time, but rarely do we do real work. And what I mean by work is what a child considers work. That's not something prescribed to them, not a prescription of education, but something they define as work. They are in flow, which is a concept identified by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. Flow is when you're in that, let's call it the zone. Some of you may have heard that. Some of you may have used the word flow. They're in their element. You are so engrossed in an activity that time ceases to exist. You are entranced, absorbed. If a child is in that state, they can do so much. That passion and creativity harnessed can do so much more than saying to children, this is what we're going to do. This is the task. This is how you will achieve it. And if you do not achieve it in this way, we'll either do it again or you will be deemed to be unsuccessful. You have not kind of done what we've asked you to do. Well, harness children's creativity and pour it into things that they enjoy. That's what I believe education truly misses. And the truth is, there are incredible teachers, inspiring teachers who are trapped within the system itself. They no longer feel creative. They no longer feel passionate themselves. They are struggling every day to get the paperwork done. And children, they are not robots and they're not stupid. They are confined. It's almost like we want every child to be the same. That as long as they achieve in a certain amount of parameters, of topics, of subjects, we deem that successful. I do not deem that to be successful. I deem a child being happy, a child being creative, a child exploring their passions, whilst also absolutely having the basic understanding and grasp of the things they need for their life. We're still trapped in this Victorian educational system. Think about the phones that we have, these incredible devices, which are mind-blowing. We've probably used it 100 plus times already today. And every year, a new one comes out. And every few years, many people go out of their current contract into another one for an upgrade. Yet education doesn't have that upgrade. And these new curriculums, yes, on paper, they may sound different, but you ask the majority of teachers and they see the same thing. They see the same confinement, the same structure, the same way of thinking that has always existed. And there are phenomenal head teachers, ones who are so caring, so passionate about what they do, and they do their best to give children the absolute best opportunities they can. I think children should be allowed to have more time. That time they allocate themselves, and I'm not talking about on iPads and Chromebooks, unless it's linked to something very specific. I'm talking about ongoing work, things that they care about, that they develop. Why can't we have children working with other children more often? So a child's really interested in the engineering side. Well, maybe their drawing isn't quite as good, and someone really cares about that drawing element. That's what they're passionate about. We need to collaborate more, not just again within the confines and the space that we allow children, but actually what they want to do. Why can't we have more lessons which are open? Even if we started basic, so we have a timetable block of an hour, we'll start as basic as that, where there are two options, two different lessons going on, and you get to pick which one you go to. Think about if you go to a conference, there are loads of breakout rooms and lots of different speakers. Well, why can't that happen a little bit more in education, where children have a choice over a few hours a week even, where they get to decide, I am more interested in that than this. And they pick. And they get a chance to be invested in what they're selecting. There's a greater chance of them engaging if you give them some form of control over the education environment that they are living within. I truly believe that. And teachers in primary education, they're teaching every subject, but lots of them are incredible at certain aspects of the curriculum, decent at everything, but maybe there's some elements of the education system where certain teachers are just so passionate about it that infectious kind of passion rubs off on the children. Why can't we have teachers doing a few of the things that they really care about? Why do we have to have primary school teachers having to kind of muddle through on every single subject all the time? They do a decent job at many of them. Maybe a great job at all of them, but maybe a phenomenal job at some of them. And we should be harnessing that. And I think teachers would feel that. It would be perhaps more work in the short term. But I can honestly tell you that teachers would rather go home tired, knowing they made a difference, than go home tired, thinking that they have made no difference at all. And I believe many teachers do go home feeling just that. I can tell you from my own personal circumstances that I walk home most nights thinking, did I really make a change today? Did I do something that had true value? When you're in school, there are parents' evenings, so parents get to come in and have that dialogue. But wouldn't it be great if we gave children the opportunity, even if it was 5 minutes a week, to sit with their teacher and say, I would love to explore this. This is what I care about. This is what I'm passionate about outside of school. And allow the teacher to slowly, and it would be a slow process, start to bring some of that in for that child. Teachers can't do everything overnight, and they can't do it without help. And I think parents can play a big part in this as well. It's not solely on that one class teacher to do everything, to be the messiah of education. They need a community. There's that saying that a community raises a child. Well, this is the opportunity that we all have now to relook at things and say, does this work? Is this fit for purpose today, in this day and age? I could talk all day with ideas and suggestions, but what it really comes down to is, do we care enough to want to change? Do we care enough to ask probing questions about why education is like this? Do we care enough to honestly give some of our time to trying to make things better for the next generation who are being educated for a world that does not yet exist? If enough people wanted that change, it could happen. And we would keep the best teachers in education. We would have children who are so passionate about going to school, about building these incredible work projects from an early age, where they feel seen, where they feel that their talents were actually utilized, seen, appreciated, respected, and nurtured, enabled. Wouldn't that be an incredible world? Children who are enthused, passionate about going to school to work on their work projects, who are developing skills that will help them deal with the problems of the future. I believe in children, I believe in teachers, and I believe in education. But it does need to change. I don't want children to ever go through education and say, they missed my talents and they didn't know who I was inside. Wouldn't it be an incredible world if we could invigorate, enthuse, champion the creativity that lies within inside every single child? Thank you very much, and go forth as always with the promise of possibility. Take care. Bye-bye.